experiences that I had as a member of this group was that a member of our group was dying of cancer. And he was a brother, a warrior, and we had a connection. It was very clear at a certain point that when I go to visit him in the hospital, his name was Stuart Serlin, and his animal name was Deserving Mountain Lion. When I go to visit him in the hospital, it seemed like every time I came there was some kind of crisis, and I was there sometimes to help resolve the crisis. And I remember he was in the hospital because his cancer had gotten worse and he needed attention, but they were going to release him, and we had no idea of when that was going to happen, but it so happened the day that I was there, they said, okay, he's going home today, so okay. But what I'm learning as I go through this process with him is that whatever is necessary will be provided, because I had no experience at all, no experience dealing with somebody who was dying, no experience in how to support someone who's going through death in this way, experiencing the last days of his life. And I had a lot of fear, but it was very clear to me that I was meant to do this. And I also, so I had two things going for me. One, I was getting the message very, very slowly, but very, very directly that if you need something, it will be provided. And I experienced that time and time again. We'd come to some fork in the road, and I thought, what the hell's going to happen now? And boom, the answer was there. So I just had, it was the experience in faith that I was going to get the assistance that I needed. The second thing that was very clear was that I was not going to be able to do this alone. He needed people on a regular basis. He had nursing care, but he also needed people to support him. And so I put out a call to the men in our community, and on a regular basis we had a book. People took periods of time when they would spend with him so that he wasn't alone, because he didn't like being alone. And the community really rallied around and supported him in the last phase of his life. And so that was a real important experience for me to learn, first of all, to assist a man in the last days of his life. I was there when he died. I made it very clear to the nurse that I wanted to be there if it was at all possible. And fortunately, the way that it turned out, he slipped into a coma about a week before he died, and there was very little contact. I couldn't get through to him. He was pretty much in a coma, but so I knew that the end was fairly near. And the nurse, who happened to be a man, called and said, blood pressure has gone down to such and such, and I think you better get out here. So he was in Bell River, I was in Windsor. It took me, it was like 1:30 at night, so it didn't take me long, and it wasn't long after I got there that he died. But I was really grateful that I had the opportunity to be with him at the end, and it was peaceful, and I got to see what it looks like when somebody leaves this life. And it was not a scary thing. What happened afterwards was scarier, because then the doctors come in and all this kind of stuff takes place, the funeral people, and that gets kind of nerve-wracking. But the experience of death itself, and I considered that I was privileged to assist him from this world. But I didn't do that on my own in any way, shape, or form. I had a community of men that supported him and me in the work, and I also know that I received assistance, divine assistance in this work. So that was a lesson for me in the process of dying and what it is like to help a man